if you don't need fuel, you can pull up just past the servo and pull in. Yeah, so there's lots of room there. Then we're going to go into Bellingen. I'm just going to make another couple of phone calls about another little couple of areas that we can park, because it's been wet and they've moved our parking around. And we will stop there for little lunch. Then we'll go from there and we'll head up Dorrigo. There is a couple bits of road traffic lights. There's a couple waterfalls on the way. If we want to stop, we'll stop at a few. If it's full, just go up to the next one. Or you can stop on the way back if it's too full and take some photos. Then when we get up the top, we'll pull up in the main street, have a walk around and go to the pub for lunch. There's waterfalls just out of town, a couple of kilometres on the right. I can show you where they are, and there's the trains. So you can go either one. We'll try to do both. So yeah, that's our sort of plan today.
Resistance to the flow just slows me down, so I go the way it wants me to for now.
Solid. It's just a bit too obvious. Oh, doesn't look right. It's definitely not water. That's a lot of oil.
Nathan, you made it.
Like,
Didn't make a sign.
okay, so where's the
I'll just kick off. My name's Keith Jones. I'm the manager of the Railway Museum. The Railway Museum is a totally volunteer group. I'm a volunteer. The museum is home to the biggest collection in the world. You can see 15 locomotives standing here. Well, we own 79 locomotives. This is only a fraction of them here. Most of the collection's on the other side of the street. The actual museum site is being established over there. But we thought we'd bring you in here because over there you can't get close to the engines with the cars. So we thought we'd bring you in so you can get some photos of the cars near the locomotives. So we're bogged in bureaucracy with the local council, is why we're not officially open to the public. So you're in a fairly privileged position getting in here because there's lots of bureaucracy that says you're not allowed in here. But no one's looking, so.
Google was looking.
Yeah, so eventually we'll sort out the bureaucracy with the council and get it open to the public. We own the branch line, so we'll be running trains with appropriate steam locomotives and vintage carriages from here to a little place called Megan and back. It'll be a 2-hour round trip. Later on, as we restore more of the line, we'll go from here to Yulong and back. It'll be a 3.25-hour round trip. So there'll be a choice of durations of trips and therefore a choice of fares and so forth. But it is primarily a railway museum. If you were just going to be a tourist railway and run trains, you only need 3 or 4 locomotives and 10 carriages. Well, we have 150 passenger carriages and 160 freight wagons and tens of thousands of small things. We preserve everything: railway tracks, signals, fettlers trolleys, uniforms, tickets, everything. It's a railway museum in the broadest sense. And it's not presentable yet. That'll come later. The main thing is save the items before it's too late. And where we had a choice, we picked locomotives based on their condition, so that a lot of the steam engines are in working order. Some of these came in here and parked themselves where they are now under their own steam. So operational engines is not a problem for the museum, same with the carriages. And there's a crew here working all the time. There's 2 guys painting the carriage over in the middle there today. They're retired guys that are mad on saving things from falling to pieces. And that's the biggest struggle. The volunteer group's never got enough volunteers. So, but we've saved the items in most of the collections here. We're still bringing things in by road all the time. We just bought 5 locomotives in February by road. Cost us $220,000 to get the 5 locomotives in here by road because they're 120 tonnes each. So you've got to have a big multi-axle steering road platform to do that. So we're quite mad, but if we don't save it, no one else does. So there's a lot of things here that are unique. No other examples have been saved. There's a lot of historic things here. Just for example, the nearest 2 locomotives to the right of that gap tested the Sydney Harbour Bridge in 1932. They put 88 steam engines, that's 5,000 tonnes of locomotives on the bridge a few weeks before the official opening. It was more a politician's stunt than it was a test, because everyone thought, well, it's not going to fall down. But 5,000 tonnes is a pretty fair test, because in those days there were no semi-trailers, so they couldn't whistle up Lindsay Brothers and park 500 or 600 semis. So, but out of the 88 engines that tested the bridge, only 3 have survived, and that's 2 of them there. We can't see them from where we're standing, but at the dead end of this row there are 2 locomotives that served with the Allies in France in the First World War. They were British War Department engines at the time, and we've got photos of those 2 actual engines in France in 1918. And they ended up in Australia because after the war they were war surplus. There were hundreds of steam engines for sale, and John Brown, the coal baron in Newcastle in Australia, he bought 13 of them and shipped them out here, and one of them worked till 1983 on his colliery railway in the Newcastle area. So there's a whole level of history below the obvious level of history because they're steam engines.
Jacko, where's your jacket? Put it on.
Start setting it up now. Do like over 20 minutes for the short film 2 years from now. Do 40, no, 50 years from now.
What's that? 50 years of...
Yeah, or the 40th, but over 50 years. It's been your time.
Holy shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. Maybe another day.
Because you go to change lanes and it detects that there's something there where there's not. And you quite literally get thrown back in. They're like, no, we're going there. We're going to go from a solid rooftop